Young Dolph's killer, a dude who goes by the name of Hernandez Govan, is obviously trying to play the law and bend the rules. He recently begged the judge not to get jail time, and boy did the judge get worked up. He almost had him locked up again. Here's how it went down. It's crazy how Young Dolph's life got cut short in this super sad incident that shook up the whole music scene and totally flipped the rap game on its head till now. Dolph was shot and killed in his hometown of Memphis on November 17, 2021. The very first hearing about it came from the Fox 13 Memphis media, and then even the mayor, Jim Strickland, came out and confirmed it, offering his condolences and talking about how messed up it is that violent crime wrecks the community so badly. So on that day, the cops showed up at Makita's homemade butter cookies, this bakery Dolph used to hit up a lot. They found him there, lifeless. Witnesses and social media blew up real quick with the news that Dolph was at the bakery, parked his flashy Corvette outside, and that's when all hell broke loose. It's just chilling how young Dolph got caught up in this awful attack. These two guys in a white two-door Mercedes-Benz rolled up on him and did some terrible. The autopsy report, man, it's brutal. Dolph took a staggering 22 gunshots, like all over his body. Shots even hit his forehead and his back. Now that's some savage stuff right there. And after it happened, tons of people came over to where Dolph got shot, like a whole crowd formed. Cops had to step in, keep folks out, to keep things legit while they did their investigation. It hit hard, and even Tennessee House Rep London Lamar and Memphis Councilman J.B. Smiley had their say. They were worried about how things were getting crazy and wanted to put a curfew on Memphis, just to keep things from going nuts and making sure the community stayed safe and together. The first guy who got cut up in connection to take out Dolph was a dude who went by the name of Jamarcus Johnson. Johnson is a 27-year-old dude from Tennessee. He straight up admitted that he was involved in young Dolph's murder, but his role was just kind of like helping out the two guys who did the shooting. Here's the deal, Johnson wasn't one of the guys actually pulling the trigger. The car he hooked him up with wasn't the one they used for the crime. But get this, he spilled the beans on how he helped these shooters by letting them talk on cell phones while they were on the run, and even helping one of them get in touch with his probation officer. And he pointed out a pic where his half-brother, Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, was wearing the same gear as one of the suspected shooters. Talk about a big old mess, right? Prosecutor Paul Hagerman laid it all out. Even though Johnson didn't fire the shots, his role was still pretty important in the whole messed up scheme of things. So he copped a guilty plea as a part of a plea deal that was approved by Judge Lee Coffey. Now that keeps Johnson from having to go through a whole trial, but he still might have to spill the beans on the stand if they needed to. On the flip side, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, the guys who supposedly did the shooting, are sticking with the not guilty plea for the first-degree murder charges. Hernandez Govan, the one accused of setting this whole thing up, is singing the same tune with a not guilty plea for the first-degree murder charge. It's just wild, man. Nobody really knows why young Dolph got taken out like this. So many unanswered questions. And the whole act of violence just seems senseless, man. However, there's more to be said about this dude Govan, because his face has been all over the media these last few days, and it's because of a very good reason. So what did he exactly do in this Dolph case, and why is Govan on the radar right now? Let's get into it.
Continuing at breaking news in young Dolph's case, Hernandez Govan, one of the prime suspects in the rapper's death, is now out of jail on a $90,000 bond.
Check this out. Things got seriously twisted when the dude who's supposedly the mastermind behind this whole crazy plan to off young Dolph somehow managed to get himself out of jail on bail. I kid you not, y'all. This happened in under 12 hours after a judge decided on the bail amount. So we're talking about Hernandez Govan, the same guy who slapped with a murder indictment back in November of 2022, and he had been stuck in jail with no shot at bail at all. But guess what? During his court appearance, his new lawyer, Manny Aurora, showed up and did his thing in front of Judge Lee Coffey. Judge Coffey, after mulling things over, actually gave Govan a $90K bail. But there are some strict rules with that bail. If Govan can handle it, he's got to stay put at home, only going out for like medical stuff or meeting with his legal team. So Govan supposedly roped in his partners in crime, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, to cook up this elaborate plan to take out young Dolph. The whole bail thing was apparently agreed upon by both the defense and the prosecution, and then cleared with Judge Coffey. Now, we ain't exactly sure why this decision went down, because Judge Coffey said he doesn't dive that deep into cases. But it seems like there's some new info about what Govan was up to, and even some health stuff that played into it. They even checked in with Dolph's family before giving the green light on the bail. In a joint statement from both sides, they spilled the beans on why they agreed to the bail. They got a better grip on what Govan supposedly did, and they're worried about his safety. so they settled on a $90,000 bail. The DA is all about locking things down with solid evidence, and they're saying there's no reason to doubt the charges at all. Govan's lawyer, Manny Aurora, who's known for repping big names like Lil Durk and con woman Anna Delvey Sorokin, is standing by his client's not guilty plea and is ready to go all out to fight the accusations. Now, just a few days ago, we saw Hernandez Govan turn up in court yet again, and you wouldn't believe why he was summoned. Things got heated in that Memphis courtroom when Judge Coffey went off on Govan. This all went down during a hearing on Thursday, and let me tell you, Judge Coffey was not holding back. In an almost 8-minute speech right at Govan, Judge Coffey straight up said he's not easing up on the conditions of Govan's bail. Basically, Govan wanted to do some clothes shopping and hit the grocery store, stuff like that, but Judge Coffey shot that down and was like, use Amazon for your clothes and have Kroger deliver your food, dude.
A progress letter regarding your conditions of your bond and efforts that she's making to supervise you. I gave a copy of that to Mr. Durham to his mind. She had given this about 2 weeks ago because she had some concerns. She's indicating that you're asking for some relaxed conditions on your bond, that you want some of the restrictions removed or want some of them lessened. And every time we come to court, Mr. Govan will get this request that says Mr. Govan is asking for other things. At first it started with, you wanted to go clothes shopping. I think my response was, you can have Amazon.com deliver your clothing.
Yes, sir.
You also wanted to go grocery shopping. I told you to call Kroger and they'll deliver your food to your house.
And get this, Govan even asked if he could get a regular job, but the court shot that idea down too. Judge Coffey was like, nah, you're not gonna just go back to normal life. Go to work, go to shopping, whatever, or even leave the country like that. But Judge Coffey wasn't just scolding Govan for fun. He's actually stressing that the conditions of the bail are partly for Govan's own safety. He pointed out how Memphis is known for being a rough spot, and that Govan might be a target since, this case is getting so much attention.
And I also got a request that indicates that perhaps you want to be given the same consideration of some other folks, and that you think that you want to be permitted to go to work full time. Ms. Govan, you're on bond because all parties agreed to that. Those conditions were set by this court. Those were conditions that all parties agreed to, and I don't see any reason at all why this court should relax those conditions and tell Ms. Govan, we're going to let you go back to being a fully fledged person with no restrictions at all. Go to work when you want to, go shopping when you want to, leave the county when you want to, go to other places when you want to. Ms. Govan, you're on those restrictions for a reason. And part of those reasons is for your own safety. You are probably aware that Memphis, Shelby County, Tennessee is the first most violent metropolitan area in the country. This case has generated a substantial amount of publicity. And if you're running around free in Shelby County, Mr. Govan, knock on wood, somebody might be trying to kill you, sir. So it is not in your best interest to say, Judge Coffey, take away all these conditions and let me just do what I want to, go where I want to.
And since he got out on a $90,000 bail on May 11th, Judge Coffey called out Govan for taking a few trips, which is apparently a big old no. Judge Coffey was like, you can't just go wherever you want unless I say so.
And there have been some instances where you were allowed apparently to take a couple of trips. That can't happen anymore because of the conditions of his bond that this court set this bond, and you can't deviate from those conditions unless this court tells you to do so. I'm told by Ms. Taylor that she's having some difficulties in supervising his bond because she had a couple of trips that were approved and was not approved by the court, were not discussed with the court, were not discussed with Mr. Hernandez Govan, and that's a violation of your bond, Mr. Govan. So I don't know who gave you permission to take those trips to leave Shelby County, but unless you hear from Judge Coffey, don't say anything else. Unless you hear from Judge Coffey and Hernandez Govan, your attorney of record here, Mr. Rohr is probably not going to be in on most of these settings, but unless you're in court on the record with Mr. Durham in this court and Ms. Taylor and asking the court for some relief and say, Judge, I need to do certain things, will you please approve it? It cannot be done unless it is approved by this court, Mr. Govan. You understand that, sir?
Now, Judge Coffey also made it super clear that Govan should stop bugging his probation group to ease up on his restrictions, because only the court can make that call, and Judge Coffey isn't likely to loosen things up on him, unless there's a crazy good reason. He even warned Govan that if things don't change, he could end up right back in jail till the trial's done. But he also gave props to Govan's lawyers for getting him out on bail in the first place.
And please, please, please stop asking this Taylor probation management group if they can relax these restrictions, or if they can do certain things, or let you go shopping, or let you get a job, because she doesn't have authority to do that. Ms. Taylor would do what the court ordered when I entered the bond conditions on this case and placed those conditions under seal. Those are not negotiable. They're not open to discussion. They're not open to change unless Mr. Durham files a written petition in court and says, Judge Coffey, I'm asking that you modify some of these bond conditions. Now, unless Mr. Durham asks for Mr. Govan, you talk to Mr. Durham and say, will you please address Judge Coffey about doing certain things? He'll do so. But I think what Mr. Durham will tell you is that, Mr. Govan, you should be blessed that you are on bond. The only other resolution for Judge Coffey is to put you back in jail pending a disposition of these charges. Your lawyers have worked, yeomans have done a great job in getting you released on bond until these cases are settled. But I do not intend, and I want you to hear me clearly, I do not intend, unless there's a substantial change, I do not intend to change the conditions of this bond and say, look, I thought about this, but I want to relax this. So unless there's some earthquake change, something that's significant, that says, Judge, something has come up, we're asking you to modify these bond conditions. Mr. Govan, the bond conditions that were entered when both sides agreed to release you on bond, those are immutable. They would not be changing, sir. It could get worse. It could get more restrictive, but they're not going to get any less restrictive, Mr. Govan.
Wrapped it all up, put a little pretty bow on it by telling Govan he's got to be back in court on September 21, 2023. And man, what a scene in that courtroom. People had a lot to say about it too. They thought that the judge smacked Govan pretty hard with his comments. One person wrote, I absolutely love this judge. He's so polite and he tells the defendant to go to hell. And another said, he is not taking his charges serious. They should make a harsh example out of this fool. At the end of the day, we got to give it up for the judge, man. He played it cool and he didn't let his emotions get all messed up and stuff while dealing with this murder suspect. I mean, if he was all riled up, fed up with criminals getting off easy, or just plain impatient, he really could have messed up this whole case. We're talking mistrials, man, or who knows what kind of mess that could mess up nailing the supposed mastermind the way the law says. So yeah, props to that judge for keeping things cool. But what y'all think about the fact that Govan even went on trips during his bond release? You think he should be put back in prison? Let us know what you think down about in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, then be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more hip-hop related news and updates straight to your feed. And as always, you got to remember to keep it real.